today I'm going to inform you about anxiety disorder. So today we'll have the opportunity to be able to talk about more about the facts of anxiety, but first looking at what anxiety is, secondly by discussing the types and the causes of anxiety, and finally by examining the symptoms and diagnosis of anxiety. So ADAA states that anxiety disorders are the most common mental illnesses in the United States. It affects 50 million adults in the United States aged 18 and older, or we can state 18.1% of the population every year. That's a lot. So let's start by exploring what anxiety is. Many people suffer with dealing with anxiety. Anxiety is a response that your body has when dealing with stress. It could be mental or physical. But if your feelings of anxieties are extreme, meaning they last for longer than 6 months and are interfering with your life, you may have an anxiety disorder, says Healthline. Now that we've talked a little bit about what anxiety is, we can focus on the types and causes of anxiety. There's about 7 different types of anxiety. I'll list them: panic disorder, phobia, social anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, separation anxiety, illness anxiety, and also post-traumatic stress disorder, says WebMD. I'm going to explain what some of those are. So a panic disorder is when you feel terror at random times. During this time, many people get panic attacks. Panic attacks can include sweating, and having chest pains. A lot of people state that it kind of feels like a mini heart attack. Phobia is being scared of something like an object or a situation. I have a phobia of snakes. I just don't like them. A social anxiety disorder is when you feel worried and self-conscious about everyday social situations. So, an example of that would be talking to random people you don't know. Some people aren't comfortable with that at all. Obsessive compulsive disorder is when the person must have control over something and has to do something over and over again. Separation anxiety is when a person must have an object or something with them always. So that kind of reminds me of a baby and his baby blanket. They always have to have it or they'll cry. Illness anxiety is worrying excessively that you may or are going to become seriously ill. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental or emotional stress occurring as a result of injury. I think that one's the most serious one because it can cause an injury. Causes of anxiety is not for sure known, but we can trace a traumatic event that can trigger an anxiety disorder. It can also be traced in an inherited trait. So medical causes could be heart disease, diabetes, thyroid problems such as a hyperthyroidism, respiratory disorders such as your pulmonary disease, asthma. It can also be from drug misuse or withdrawal from alcohol, anti-anxiety medications, or from other medications. Chronic pain or irritable bowel syndrome, and rare tumors that produce certain fight or flight hormones. This is all said by Mayo Clinic. After having looked at the types and causes of anxiety, we can now finish our exploration by discussing the symptoms and diagnosis of anxiety. Many people experience different types of symptoms of anxiety. For instance, some common symptoms of anxiety attacks can include feeling faint or dizzy, shortness of breath, dry mouth, sweating, chills or hot flashes, apprehension and worrying, restlessness, distress, fear, and numbing and tingling. This is all stated by Healthline. A single test cannot diagnose anxiety, sadly. So to test for anxiety, it takes a lengthy process of physical examination, mental health evaluations, and psychological questionnaires. So according to Healthline, a physical exam includes blood or urine tests to rule out underlying medical conditions that could contribute to symptoms that you're experiencing when it comes to anxiety. Now that we've finished examining the types and causes of anxiety, we can look back at what we have learned in the past few minutes. So after having the opportunity to learn about the facts of anxiety by looking at what anxiety is, discussing the types and causes of anxiety, and examining the symptoms and diagnosis of anxiety. So the quote that we can actually look back at the beginning of this speech said that anxiety disorders are the most common mental illnesses in the United States. It's affecting at least 40 million people, adults, in the United States that are aged 18 or older, or we can go by 18.1% of the population every year. As we now can conclude by all this information, we can fully understand the way that anxiety can affect you or someone else. Thank you.